Hey guys, it's Miss Morgan from Kids Club. You might not recognize me because you're not from Kids Club 2, or you may not recognize me from the few days that I was at Kids Club 1, or you may not recognize me because I'm wearing glasses today. But today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a diorama. It's going to be pretty cool. Just wait, see the directions in the next few seconds. You will need some paper, something to color with, maybe some markers, colored pencils, even crayons, pens, some tape, some string. It can be any thickness, but the thinner you go, the better. You might need a pencil, some scissors, and you need a box. It can be any box size. I am using a box from something I ordered on Amazon. I cut off the sides. You want to do the same too. I just left the bottom on. It can be any size. It could be a shoe box. It could be a tissue box. Just want to cut out the front and leave one of the bottom sides available. You can be mostly seeing my hands and what I'm doing. That'll be better for us, so you can do the same too. So first, we'll start with the paper. This is going to be your background. I usually do something with ocean. You can do anything. A lot of the kids from my kids club know I like the ocean, so I did a lot of ocean, a lot of fish, a lot of animals. You could do a space theme, you could do dinosaurs, just about anything. Maybe even a theme park. Depends how much time you want to spend on it. We're going to do the background, so I'm going to do the ocean, I'm going to do some fish, I'm going to do some other wildlife, some grass, and then the homes and the sand. First, I'm going to draw some coral. And I want to draw a window through the top, and a cave in the bottom, so we do a cool sea creature that lives in there. I'm going to color that in. But leave some room. Using the same color to color it all in right away. We're going to use some other colors to make starfish, because starfish like to hang out on coral. The cool thing about starfish is if a predator eats off one of its legs, it can regenerate it. So you might see a sea star without 5 limbs. They might only have 4, or they may even have even more because they're a different species. And starfish come in multiple colors. You can do as many different colors as you want. I did a pink one, now I'm going to do a blue one. And they come all in a bunch of different shapes and sizes, just like people do. Don't worry, I'll give you guys a closer look when I'm done. Next, we're going to draw a sea anemone. I have a hard time saying it, just like in Finding Nemo. A sea anemone could be living on the coral or next to the coral. I'm going to do it next to the coral. You just draw like little worms coming out of the ground all in one group. If you didn't know this about sea anemones, I have a really hard time saying it. As you can see, they only sting the animals that aren't clownfish, like Nemo and Marlin. And we can draw a little bit of a clownfish just like them. Swimming in the coral. Make sure it's attached to the ground. You don't want to leave it floating. Next, I'm going to draw an octopus in the cave. If you want, you can draw the octopus only to have 7 legs because they might have gotten eaten one off, just like in Finding Dory. You can draw it realistically or not so much. Like, I like to draw smiles on my sea animals, but you don't have to. You can draw it more realistic. You can look pictures up on the internet to see it. Can't forget those eyes. We color in. I'll give you a closer look now, see at my progress. See, there's my little octopus. There are my little sea stars. Now I'm gonna color in the coral. Coral can also come in a bunch of different colors. So you could draw a bunch of different pieces in different colors. You can draw different layers of them. During a big space, you can always do a lighter touch because then it goes farther, and then you can layer, which makes it darker. So layering is when you go back over it again. Just like you might layer a winter jacket over your t-shirt in the cold. You can also draw some rocks with a gray colored pencil or yellow colored pencil or brown, because rocks also come in all different colors, and you can draw some more starfish to go on them too if you want. If you didn't know, sand comes from rocks, just really, really tiny rocks. The ocean makes sand. It takes really, really big rocks, like this one I'm drawing, and it rolls it around the ocean, and the water pushes against it and breaks off chunks. And the chunks keep rolling around, and the waves are on the bottom, because there are waves underwater that you can't see if you're in there. And they just push it around and push it around until it's so small that it's sand. There. Now I'm going to come back to you when I've colored the background blue. Now that I've finished my background drawing, I cut it down so it fits inside of the box, and then I put it in the box. To make it stay there, we are going to use some tape. Now, if you're like me and you forgot to cut out your paper to the right size to fit in the box, you can always cut out the animals that you drew on here and put them on a new sheet, or you can save them for later in the project, which I'll show you. I'm just gonna take some tape. We're gonna just do little pieces because you don't need a lot, and you're gonna roll them together so they stick on. And then you're gonna stick those pieces of tape in each corner. Okay, now it's ready to put in the box. Stick it in and make sure you push the spots where the tape is to make sure it sticks right on. Now next, we're going to create some creatures for our front space, because we're going to attach them onto the bottom and from the top. This will look really cool. Okay, I'm going to draw a jellyfish. Just do an upside down U. You come across like this. Make some squiggly lines down. And then to make it really cool, you can use multiple colors for its, as they call it, legs or tentacles. You can even draw some frills along the top, like the man-o-war. The man-o-war has some interesting looking tops. It's almost like a bubble, so it can sit on top of the water and move around just like that. It doesn't even have to kick its legs or anything. I'm going to draw another smiley face. Next, I'm going to draw a crab. With crabs, with their little pinchers, one of them is usually bigger than the other, if you didn't know. One is used more for fighting and one is used for smaller things. We do little lines, ovals on the top. And some black dots in the middle. Another smile. Next, I'm going to draw a stingray. We're going to draw a bendy looking M, just like that, and then attach them together with a V, and then we make a tail. Now, stingray's eyes are actually on top of their head, but I'm going to draw mine on the bottom to show its little face. It does have its face, or its mouth, I mean, is on the bottom. It has gills just like other fish. And then we're going to color it in. Now, you don't have to draw all the same animals I do. Some you want that swim out in the water, and some that walk around on the ground. You can also draw more plants for your ocean, too. And if you make any little marks outside of your animal, it's okay because you can just cut them off later. Next, I'm going to draw a snail. One might say it looks like Gary from SpongeBob. You don't have to use the same colors either. These are just the colors that I grabbed first. I'll draw some seagrass to add later too. Or seaweed, or whatever you want to call it. Seaweed can be food for some animals, or it can be a hiding place to try and stay away from predators that are trying to eat them. But they are living too. They grow and they use nutrients from leftover food from the other animals because it goes into the ground and is absorbed by their little roots. You can draw multiple kinds of seaweed. You can do the bendy or the straight, or whatever shape you want to make. Now you don't want these drawings on this paper to touch because you're going to be cutting them out and around them. Some fish though, because they're all over the sea and all over the shallows. The shallows is the shallower end of the sea. The difference between fish and mammals, or one of them, is that fish are able to breathe underwater using their gills. Mammals have to breathe the air like everybody else. Like a dolphin or an orca. Now I'm going to draw the shark. You can see here that I messed up. You know, teachers make mistakes too. We're going to draw a shark. Now remember, these don't need to be perfect. You can always go back and make another. As you can see, I'm refixing on top of the other ones because I can just cut off the extra bit that I messed up on. I'm actually using my iPad to show me a picture of a shark to make sure I get all his little fins right. Because he has a bunch of little fins and things along his body. It has a bit of a thicker tail than normal sharks. That's okay. Now it's time to cut them out. The ones that are going to be swimming in the water, you want to cut out like normal. But the ones that are going to be gliding along the bottom in the sand, or sitting in the sand like the plants, you're going to cut it a little bit differently. To make sure you do this properly, you go in with a pencil and just make a little lines like this, because we're going to use this to help them stand up on our little cardboard. Now, if you're not good at cutting, you can always ask your parents' help. I know when I was your age, I wasn't great, but it took a long time to get better. Now, make sure you cut on the little boxes for the ones that are going to be on the ground, because those are going to help it stand up. We're going to use some tape to help them stand still. Now it's on to the next part. Got my shark. I got my 2 different kinds of seagrass. Got my jellyfish. My snail that looks somewhat like Gary. I've got a fish, but you can make a bunch of fish. Got a crab. And I have my stingray, which is my favorite. I love his little smile. Makes him look so happy. We are going to, at least for the first ones, the ones that are going to be on the ground, we're going to fold them right at the line that we drew with the little boxes. Got one. We're going to take some tape, just a little bit, we don't want to waste, and put it on the back side without the color on it, little piece down here. Stick that tape on there, make sure it hangs over so that it can attach to the bottom like this. And if your little piece wants to lay down, you can always bend him a little bit more, but be careful because you don't want him laying flat. Now that I've got all my little animals taped in, it's time for the next part to hang the other animals, like the shark. This is where you need more tape and the string. I didn't have any clear string, so mine's red. So we'll be able to see it a little bit more. Just cut off one piece, don't make it too short. It can be too long, but only a little bit. You don't want to waste. Take that, take some tape, and add it on to the end. And attach it to the back of the thing you're trying to hang, so that it hangs like this, like he's swimming around. And we're gonna need to poke some holes on the top of your box, so you might need your parents' help for this. Now that you have all of your animals attached to string, you have your holes cut along your top. You can take your animal, take the top of the string, and feed it through the hole. Once you've got your animal at your desired height, you want to take some tape and tape it at the top, right at the hole, so it stays at the same height in the box. You can always cut off extra string later. Now here's mine all put together. You can see all the little animals swimming around, all happy. I mean, you have to be happy with that kind of face. You can always add more animals to the front or to the back, and you can always just have a blue background, maybe with some blue construction paper, and then just move this up, and you can add some more, like a dolphin, a killer whale, or if you wanted to do one of the other backgrounds with different settings, like the stars, you could have the stars hanging, or an astronaut hanging, or a spaceship hanging, or if you did the sky, it could be like a bird, and you could have like a town down here. That would be cool too. Now, make sure that you clean up after you're done with your project. You do not want to leave all of your mess for your parents to clean up. They already have to clean up from dinner, and after little siblings, if you have those, you need to make sure you clean up so they don't have to clean it up. How would you feel if they made a big mess and made you clean it up? So, clean up your mess. Make sure you come back to our YouTube channel for more fun videos. I might do more fun videos like making stickers, making a book, making just about anything. I love art stuff. Maybe I'll do a science project, or maybe I'll help you build something. That'd be really cool. Well, we'll see.